Hi everyone, welcome back to the studio where even dreams believe. Today we are going to have a look at our final sea turtles, the chase. That is what I named it. If you didn't see the previous two videos, please go and watch them again. I had a painting of where I started with masking fluid. It was split over 2 sessions to allow for drying time. Okay, Miss Floof still has her same box of the week. She is still happy to be here as long as she can have her box. So I'm not sure of if she might be our supervisor today or just an innocent bystander. Okay, so let me share my screen. I want to show you. Let me share this one here quickly. Okay, can you see my screen? Now, I must say, when I took this photo with my equipment, it was white, but somehow the background looks as if it has been painted on a beigey color paper. It's not. So the colors are not exactly. I am at a loss to know how to change the settings on the camera to make sure that I can capture the actual colors. Okay, so now what I've done here, I have added a little bit of ink to the watercolor in order for it to just give us that little bit more of definition. And if you have a look here, I've also added in the movement of the water so that we can see it is a chase. So they are playing tag and they are having a ball. So here you can see the effect where I rubbed off all the masked spots, and I did go in a little bit again with a little bit of watercolor to just make it not as big open white dots. All right, so I hope you love it. I really am happy with this piece, and I can see the fun and the movement in the ocean. I can also see the reflection on the bottom here. I can see the shadows, everything just as I wanted it. All right, now let me stop share there. All righty, so let's see if it will pick up in the natural. Here you can see that the color is actually, the paper is white. Let's have a look and see if you can see it. The paper is definitely white. And you can see the colors are slightly different to what I had on that shade screenshot. Okay. Alrighty. You can see what happened here. I was in too much of a hurry and I ripped my masking tape. When I pulled the masking tape off, I ripped a piece. So what I will end up doing is I will just trim my whole painting tiny amount smaller so that it is just still centered. All right. Okay. So now I said that today we are going to look at maybe a travel kit, what my travel kits look like. I have got various types of travel kit depending on what medium I want to use when I travel. Lately, if it's just for a weekend away or a day away, I would grab my watercolor. Sometimes I like to take my watercolor and acrylic. I very seldom travel with my oils, especially if it is in summer and it's very hot. The oil does not like to be out in a lot of sun. It is okay if you just have 1 or 2 days plain air, but I usually go camping in a tent, and then it does get too hot for my oil paints to survive it. Okay, so let me share my screen again. And let's have a look and see what I've put together over here. Okay, so now here we can see I have got my watercolor set up And then I also have a few other things over here. So let me go this way and I will pick it up here. So when I am home, this is what my watercolor setup looks like when I put it away. Okay, I have got this very beautiful metal container. I think it's so cute. So what I have inside it, let me see if I can just move these over and I can show you. Let's just put that away. Okay. So when I am home, I have it not out all the time because my studio have got many functions. It is my classroom where I teach or where I do coaching with my coaching clients. It is also my art studio where I sometimes have students in studio or online. It is also a pottery and sculptor studio. I love ceramics, so I'm also a potter and a sculptor. And so I have got various areas in my studio where whatever is happening at that time. So if I have got my oils out, then I would just change the station. So this is at the moment my place where I like to paint over here. I've got a little bit of natural light during the day coming in, and over here I can spread out a little bit. So I would then just take this and put it away into the cupboard until I am ready to paint again at home with watercolor. Then I would just change my setup. Okay. Unfortunately, my studio is not big enough so that I have got my designated sections. I used to have a very big studio where I could actually have the section where the adults could paint or do art, one for toddlers. So I had all the different areas, but at this stage I just have this room and I'm making do with what I have. I'm thankful that I do have this space. Okay, so now what do I have in here? In here I have got, these ones. These are my watercolor pans. Let me just open that quickly. Whoops. I took them out. Hold on 1 second. Let's just see what's happening here. Okay, just the empty one that fell out. Okay, so this is just the set that is in here usually. Okay, and this is my little travel case. It has got this holder at the back, which is very dandy and handy if you want to paint like this. You can slot it through your finger and you can have it open. Okay, wait, we should open it first. In here I just have my tiny chart just where I have placed all my thingies, so it can open like that. I can slide my finger through there and it's not gonna fall off, and I can still hold something else with my other hand while I mix here. So that is what is nice. Sometimes when you're outside you don't really have place to put everything down, then this is a very nice option. Okay, now let's see, let's just close it up again. So this is what is in this tray. And like I said, I don't clean out my palettes with watercolor because I like those colors, and very often when I'm busy, like now when I'm busy with the sea turtle challenge, the challenge that I'm involved in, I use the same color palette, so I just reactivate and continue painting. So in here I have got a little air dry clay brush holder that I made, and I think I was a little bit over enthusiastic when I made all these little divots, because you know what, I've got one brush that I favor all the time, so it was pointless having all these little divots where I can have like 6 or 7 brushes. I don't use it with the watercolor, I use one, But yes, it's still there that I use. And my favorite brush, the famous brush that I always want to use, so that goes there, that sits there, that usually just rests over there. And then here I've got the masking fluid. That is just when I want to use that. I've got a little bit of water in this spritz bottle. My two ceramic, these are so special, my two ceramic palettes. I love using them to mix on. And then in this little pile here, I've got my masking tape, my tiny, I think this is a sake cup or a Japanese teacup or something like that. And then I have got this little cotton swab for drying my brush, and two of these just for my different waters. Okay, so when I put it away, I usually put it away like that, take it, and it's out the way. I can move on to the next thing. Okay, so now, say for instance, I am traveling. I have many different things that I can do when I want to travel. This is very interesting. This used to be, you can hear the crunch. It used to be an old chip packet. Okay, so I bought it at a flea market where some very clever ladies made this into a pencil case. So it is such a nice size. It's quite big. It's big enough to put A5 papers in it, and you can also carry whatever with it. I also like that you can wipe it, and the inside has got the fabric in here, and it's got quite a strong zip. So if I grab this, I know I can pack my watercolors in here. Okay, now say for instance I want to just grab something quick. Maybe I'm going away for a weekend or so, and maybe I want to paint. I'm not sure if I will. Then I can just grab this and add a few things to it. Now the first thing I would like to say is I love to recycle, and I don't like to just waste. So I have made a replacement for these two here. I don't like to travel with these two because they are so special and so precious to me. I don't want them to break. Okay, so these are quite old. I can't see the date there, but yeah, they are very, very old. And I bought them for so cheap at a thrift store, but they are special porcelain, so I can't travel with them like that. So what I've got here is something that I made to replace these two. So it would be a warm and a cold color mixing bay. Okay, so now what is this? Oh, I think it's the wrong way around. It's a baby wipe opener. So many moons ago on some recycle idea thing, I saw this idea and I thought, oh, that's absolutely fantastic. So usually the baby wipes will have this thing on the top here that you can open and close to take out the baby wipes. I don't know if you have got similar ones to you, or sometimes it just comes like that without that. But now I had two of these, you can see, and what I did, according to the video instruction, is I hot glued it. I took it off the packet and I hot glued the two openings together. How cool is that? So now when I want to paint, I can mix my hot colors here, or I can mix my cool colors there, and it serves the same purpose as these two do. It's just compact for traveling, and I love it. Okay, so yeah, that will usually go with me. If we take this one, then that will go. If I do take my color pencils, it's easy. I have got my color pencils over here now. I've put them in the 3 containers there. The warmers, the colds, and the yellows I've separated. So I would just grab 1 or 2 or 3 from each color, or sometimes I would just grab the whole lot and put it in here. Then obviously also I would take my sharpener just in case I need to sharpen one of the pencils. Okay, so it would be that, and let's just grab a handful of pencils. Oops. Okay, these are all watercolor pencils. This pencil that just dropped out here, people, I've had this set, or this pencil, I've got four of them left. I've had this for 50 years. I got this for my 6th birthday, the set, and I still have them. So I have a red, but the red is now this big, and the yellow, and this one, and a blue one. I'm not sure where the others are. But yes, I'm quite protective over them because it just shows you can still use it many, many years later. So, okay, let's focus. So I can have my mixing tray. Okay, when I use, let's just backtrack. When I use pencils, I don't have to use that. So let's take that away. So when I have got pencils, and then I can have maybe, let's see here, this is an A5, just multimedia, and that fits in here perfectly, along with some pencils and my sharpener, and off I go. I'm sorted, I can go. All right, so I've got everything in there, except what did I not take? A brush. I forgot to put in my brush. Now you can take your brushes, your normal brushes. I do not travel with my special brush. My mop brush stays at home when I travel, because usually the paintings that I would do on holiday or a weekend away would just be an idea that I would further explore when I am back in the studio. So what I use is usually for traveling is a water pen. You get them with quite a substantial water tank. This is the little water tank. Can you see the water inside moving here? So it's just a little water. The water goes to the tip, and you can just activate and paint with it. So this is what I use if I just want to go out and just paint something. Okay. And the nice thing about this one does not leak. So even if I put it down inside here, it won't leak. I'm very happy to travel with it like that. Okay, so now let's unpack this. So we'll take the pencils out. Let me just put them back where they belong. All my blues and greens go there. Do I get them all? Yeah. Okay. So this can also come out. All right. So now, if I don't want to take such a big bag or such a big piece of paper, I want to take something smaller. These are some of the ones that I've made with my scrap pieces, my offcuts. So you can see there's just a little sketch of, let me just bring it, oops. Oh, that was a Valentine's one. And that was just a little sketch of something that I saw that spoke to me, and I just did that quickly. So these are just pieces of watercolor paper, offcuts. They're not even all the same size, that I've just bound in a booklet there, and I just used another piece of watercolor and just made a little cover for myself. So if I want to say, for instance, I want to go smaller, I don't want to have such a big trek with all the things that I always have to take with, then I can take my little travel kit. I can take this one here if I want to take it. Remember, this palette has got 2 large mixing, so I can also use one for warm and for cold if I want to, and then I still have the mixing places there. So it is not necessary for me to take extra, but if I need to take extra, then I can take this one, that one, I can take my water brush, and maybe I can take this little booklet. Look at the size of this now. It fits in my hand. I am happy to go and paint with that. Okay. Now usually I do have a pen with me. Something else you can also take is a pencil if you want to first sketch. This is a short pencil, and it would also fit if you have a smaller bag. I do have a smaller bag, I just don't have it with me here in the studio at the moment. If you want to just take a smaller bag or put it in your handbag or whatever, or a small backpack. Okay, so that is also an idea how we can do it. Then another idea is if you have got a book. This is just a normal white page book, okay, that I have started to play in, and sometimes someone else will draw something in here. So let's just see here. Where's mine? Okay, so if you look here, this is just done with watercolor. It's a little Chihuahua doggy. I think it's so cute. It was a winter painting, and this was just like a mindfulness exercise that I did, what I was grateful for. And over here, this is just something else I played with, just different effects. And the face of another doggy, a Pomeranian, and so it continues. Okay, so if you want to take something like that, you can also just take your journal, and then maybe you want to sketch it out first with a marker or a fine liner. Now I just have to say this is perfect until you add water. This one is not permanent, so when you want to take a fine liner, make sure you have one that is permanent. Okay, this one, the minute you paint water over it or close to it, it's going to bleed and you're going to be disappointed. All right, I've made that mistake. So what I have here, my favorite, this is called a uni pin fine line, and it is water and fade proof, and it's got pigment ink. So this is absolutely essential for me, and it's a 0.5 tip. You can see here, it's a very small tip. Okay, so that is what I like to use. So, okay, I usually will take that with. So yes, that is it. And then what I have thought of a while ago is to, I think this is now the wrong way around. I don't think you'll be able to read it. But it says, in case of an emergency, just add water and paint. So I've taken from my tube watercolors. I have got a whole case of tube watercolors that I put on the colors on here. So something like this, if I stick it in the front of my book, and I have got my water soluble. There's my art kit. You can do it. You don't have to have this fancy art case and everything that you have to go plein air or go and sit in a restaurant and paint. No, you can just go with whatever you have. All right. Okay, so now let's just park all of this over here. Let's just take it out the way. I just want to see quickly to show you how I make these. All right. Okay. So you can make these booklets in any size. All right. This one here has got slightly bigger pages, and that was from a weekend out in the country. So you can also see that it's not straight. It's not the same size. Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. Okay, it's just for me. It's for my own pleasure. So there are some over there. Okay, now if I look here at this one, these were even smaller pieces. But sometimes I like to draw a tiny picture of I love to draw cats, and then I would use it as a tiny thank you card or something. But this is also a little booklet. I bound it, and you can see here again, the sizes are not even anywhere to be lined up or close up to the same sizes. The only place where it lines up is here where I bound it. Okay, so now this was the cover that I've used for a few. It was just something that I played with just to show you, you don't have to do that. You can also just use a normal piece of paper. Now these are sticky notes that you can just use. So let's use one of these sticky notes here. Okay. So now your main thing that you have to do is you have to decide which side you want to line your papers. Oh, what I also check is if it is a paper that you can see the back and the front, you can see which side is the painty side, then just make sure that they are all facing the right way. All right, so I'm just aligning them like that so that I have got them straight there. So this part here should line up. Okay, so it looks fairly straight. So now what I do is I'm just going to put a drop of this glue. I need an extra hand. Hold on 1 second. Let me just do that with this clip. Let me just grab another clip. Okay, all right. So what you can do, this is just a normal schoolcraft glue or the white craft glue. Let's see. So the thing I do is, okay, this paper here is now a little bit, you know what, let's use one of these. Let's use a little piece of this one that is the same width, because this is a little bit too narrow for that one there. Okay, so let me just grab my big scissors. Let's see. I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay, I'm going to use that piece. Okay, all right, so I'm going to use this. Now what I do is I fold it over so that you have got, it's a cover like that. Okay, so I like, looks like a jellyfish or something. So I'm just going to give this a fold. I did not measure, that's close enough. Just like that. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm simply just going to add some glue on that line. Not too much, just a bit. Flip is still sleeping. Okay, so I think I might have too much glue there. When you have too much glue, then your front, when it goes up too high on the front, your first page tends to stick to it, but it's okay. It's just a little booklet for yourself. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this side here is still the side that is all on the same level, and I'm just going to move it in there, and you can see I'm just placing it there, and I'm going to close that over like that. Oh, actually I'm going to stick it there. Okay, now here you can see I did not do a good job, I didn't measure. Okay, there we go. So that's it. So this will dry I usually give it like a day or so to dry, and then it dries in this position. The scripts hold it. There's enough glue in there to keep all my tops together, and then they can open like that. Okay, so you can then, it's basically the same as a pad that you buy. Okay, but then you don't have to go and buy a pad this size. You can just simply use your offcuts. All right, so that was it. I hope that you enjoyed that, and I hope that I would see your ideas also, or if you have an idea for how to make your own travel kit, let me know. Show me what you do. Okay, thank you so much. I think in our next video, maybe we will work on some greeting cards. Okay, I would love to paint a few greeting cards. I want to make a watercolor greeting card range, so I would like to start with that. Thank you for being here, and I think Floof says goodbye. Floof? Floofy. I'm sorry, she's asleep. I will see you soon. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you very much. Bye.